Imagine this. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Your room is silent, your body is completely still, and nothing around you is moving. Yet inside your mind, an entirely different world has come alive. You're running through unfamiliar streets, talking to people you haven't seen in years, flying across endless skies, or standing in places that don't even exist. Everything feels unbelievably real. Every emotion, every sound, every fear, every smile. Then suddenly you wake up. The dream disappears within seconds, but the feeling remains. Your heart is beating faster, your mind is confused, and one question quietly appears. Why do we dream? Is it simply random imagination, or is our brain secretly doing something far more important while we sleep? For thousands of years, people believed dreams were messages from gods, predictions of the future, or signs from another world. Modern neuroscience tells a different story, one that is even more fascinating. While your body rests, your brain never truly sleeps. Instead, it becomes incredibly active. Billions of neurons communicate with each other, organizing memories, processing emotions, strengthening important connections, and removing unnecessary information. Sleep is not simply a time for physical rest. It is a time when your mind quietly repairs and rebuilds itself. Dreams are one of the most visible signs of this hidden process. Think about everything that happens during a normal day. You meet people, solve problems, learn new information, experience happiness, disappointment, stress, excitement, and hundreds of small moments that seem unimportant. Your brain collects every one of these experiences, but it doesn't organize them immediately. Later, while you sleep, it begins sorting them like someone cleaning a room after a long day. Important memories are stored, useless details are removed, and emotional experiences are connected to older memories. This is why dreams often mix your childhood home with your current workplace or combine people who have never met. Your brain isn't trying to create a perfect story. It's connecting experiences in ways that help you learn and adapt. One of the most interesting things about dreams is how emotional they are. Many dreams involve fear, excitement, love, embarrassment, sadness, or hope. That's because emotions are among the brain's highest priorities. Imagine someone criticized you today. You smiled and moved on, believing you forgot about it, but your brain didn't. That emotional experience remained unfinished. During sleep, your mind revisits similar emotions, not to make you suffer again, but to process what happened. In many ways, dreaming works like emotional therapy. It allows your brain to face difficult feelings in a safe environment where nothing can actually hurt you. Have you ever noticed that stressful periods of life create strange dreams? You might dream about being chased, failing an exam, arriving late, losing your phone, or falling from a great height. These dreams usually aren't predicting the future. Instead, they reflect your emotional state. The brain transforms invisible stress into visible stories because images are easier for the mind to process than abstract emotions. Anxiety becomes a monster chasing you. Pressure becomes an impossible exam. Uncertainty becomes getting lost in a maze. Dreams speak through symbols because symbols help the brain organize complicated feelings. Most vivid dreams happen during a stage of sleep called REM sleep, or rapid eye movement. During this stage, your brain becomes almost as active as it is when you're awake. Your eyes move rapidly beneath your eyelids. But something remarkable also happens. Your muscles become temporarily inactive. This is actually a protective system. Well, imagine if your body acted out every dream you had. If you could jump out of bed while dreaming you're running or accidentally hurt yourself while fighting an imaginary enemy. Evolution solved this problem by allowing the brain to stay active while temporarily preventing most body movement. Scientists have discovered that dreaming is much more important than people once believed. People who are repeatedly prevented from entering REM sleep often struggle with memory, concentration, emotional control, and creativity. It's almost as if the brain depends on dreams to stay healthy. Dreams aren't wasted time. They're one of the ways your brain prepares you for tomorrow. During sleep, it reviews experiences, strengthens learning, rehearses possible situations, and improves your ability to solve problems. This is why many athletes dream about competitions before important events. Students often dream about exams. Musicians dream about performing. Parents dream about their children. The brain is constantly practicing possible futures. It asks questions like, what if this happens? Or how should we respond? Even when dreams seem strange or unrealistic, they often represent the brain preparing itself for future challenges. Dreams also reveal how memory really works. Many people imagine that the brain stores memories like a video camera, recording every moment exactly as it happened. In reality, memory is much more flexible. The brain stores pieces, faces, emotions, sounds, smells, conversations, and images. During dreaming, these pieces become mixed together in surprising ways. That's why someone from your childhood can suddenly appear in your office, or a conversation from yesterday can happen in a place you visited years ago. Your brain isn't making mistakes. It's building connections between experiences based on emotions rather than time. Many people wonder why they forget their dreams so quickly. The answer is surprisingly simple. During dreaming, the brain uses different chemical systems than it does while you're awake. These chemicals make it harder to store dreams as long-term memories. In other words, the dream itself isn't always the important part. The processing is. Once your brain finishes organizing emotions and memories, the story often disappears because its job has already been completed. However, some dreams stay with us forever. Usually, these are dreams connected with powerful emotions: love, grief, fear, hope, or joy. Strong emotions create stronger memories, both in dreams and in everyday life. This is why a single emotional dream can remain clear even years later, while hundreds of ordinary dreams disappear within minutes of waking up. Perhaps the most beautiful truth about dreaming is that it reminds us our minds never truly stop working. Beneath our daily routines, responsibilities, conversations, and worries, there is an invisible process constantly shaping who we are. Every night, while we believe nothing is happening, our brain quietly rebuilds memories, heals emotional wounds, strengthens learning, and prepares us for another day. Dreams are not meaningless illusions. They are evidence that your brain is always trying to help you survive, grow, and understand your life a little better. So the next time you wake from a strange dream, don't immediately dismiss it as nonsense. Instead, remember that while you were asleep, your brain was working harder than you ever realized. It was sorting yesterday, preparing for tomorrow, and quietly rebuilding the person you will become. Maybe that is the real purpose of dreams. Not to predict the future, but to help create a better version of before the sun rises again. Have you ever had a dream so realistic that for a few seconds after waking up, you couldn't tell whether it had actually happened? Maybe you dreamed about losing someone you love, achieving something impossible, or meeting a person who no longer exists. Your emotions were real, even if the events weren't. That raises an incredible question. If dreams aren't real, why does your brain make them feel so real? The answer lies deep inside the architecture of the human mind. During REM sleep, the logical part of your brain, the prefrontal cortex, becomes less active, while the emotional centers become highly active. In simple words, your brain lowers its ability to question reality while increasing your ability to feel emotions. That's why, inside a dream, flying through the sky feels completely normal. Talking to someone who passed away years ago feels possible. Your brain isn't trying to fool you. It's creating an emotional simulation where imagination becomes temporarily stronger than logic. This ability may have helped our ancestors survive. Imagine a prehistoric human repeatedly dreaming about escaping predators or dangerous situations. Every dream became a kind of mental rehearsal. Even without facing real danger, the brain practiced responding to threats. Modern researchers believe dreaming may still serve a similar purpose today. We may not run from wild animals anymore, but we still face emotional challenges, uncertainty. But dreams don't only prepare us for danger, they also fuel creativity. Throughout history, some of humanity's greatest discoveries were inspired by dreams. Scientists, musicians, writers, and inventors have all described waking up with ideas that seem to appear from nowhere. Yet those ideas didn't come from nowhere. While we sleep, the brain freely combines memories, experiences emotions, and knowledge without the strict logical limits we have while awake. Connections that seem impossible during the day suddenly become obvious at night. That's why a solution to a difficult problem sometimes appears after a good night's sleep. Your brain never stopped working. It simply found the answer while you weren't paying attention. Dreams also reveal an important truth about who we are. The people, places, and stories inside them often reflect our deepest fears, desires, regrets, and hopes. Sometimes a dream shows us something we've been avoiding. Sometimes it reminds us of someone we've forgotten. Sometimes it exposes emotions we've hidden, even from ourselves. This doesn't mean every dream has a secret symbolic meaning, but many dreams are emotional mirrors. They reflect what our conscious mind has been too busy to notice. Think about how often we ignore our own emotions during the day. We tell ourselves we're fine when we're exhausted. We smile when we're hurting. We keep working when we're overwhelmed. The conscious mind keeps moving forward. But the unconscious mind remembers everything. When night arrives and distractions disappear, those emotions often return not as words, but as dreams. Your brain whispers through stories because stories are easier to feel than silent thoughts. Another fascinating mystery is nightmares. Why would the brain create frightening experiences while we're supposed to be resting? At first, nightmares seem cruel, but psychologists believe they may serve an important purpose. Fear is one of the strongest survival emotions humans possess. By experiencing fear inside dreams, the brain may become better prepared to manage it in real life. Of course, frequent nightmares can become unhealthy, especially after trauma. But occasional frightening dreams may simply be the brain testing its emotional defenses, asking one simple question: if this happened, would we survive? More often than not, the answer is yes. As science continues to study dreams, one thing becomes increasingly clear. Dreams are not useless noise. They are part of an incredibly intelligent system designed by evolution to help us remember, adapt, learn, heal, and prepare for the future. Every night, while the world becomes quiet, your brain performs work that no machine on Earth can truly replicate. It reorganizes billions of neural connections, strengthens important memories, weakens unnecessary ones, processes emotions, improves learning, and quietly reshapes your identity. Perhaps that's why sleep is so powerful. We often think success comes only from working harder, staying awake longer, and doing more. But sometimes the most productive thing you can do is simply close your eyes. Because while your body rests, your brain is building tomorrow's version of you. Every healthy night of sleep improves your ability to think clearly, make better decisions, solve problems, control emotions, and face life with greater resilience. So the next time you wake from a strange dream, don't laugh it away too quickly. Behind that strange story was a brain working tirelessly on your behalf. While you believed nothing was happening, billions of neurons were communicating, repairing, strengthening, and preparing you for another day. Dreams may seem mysterious, but perhaps their greatest mystery is this. They remind us that some of the most important work we ever do happens when nobody can see it, not even ourselves. And maybe that's the most beautiful lesson of all. Growth isn't always visible. Healing isn't always loud. Progress doesn't always happen while you're awake. Sometimes the mind changes your life in complete silence, one dream at a time. Every sunrise reveals a person who is slightly different from the one who went to sleep. Not because the world changed overnight, but because your brain never stopped working for you. The dreams you forget may have quietly helped shape the future you'll one day remember.